Welcome everybody, we're live here on Lichess and Twitch. Just correcting something. Welcome to the stream. Wednesday, Weird Wednesday. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Whenever I try to change the stream title, it like reverts back to the old one. Alright. You know what Wednesday is about. It's Weird Wednesday, unusual openings. Don't believe my spam title. We need to use the spam titles to get some viewers here. Troll stream titles. London System Masterclass. Starting in 5 minutes. Whenever I try to do a sarcastic stream title, like Twitch seems to delete it and it goes back to the old one. Sean Pinto have my first OTB tournament on Sunday. First tournament. Wow. That's impressive. I mean, you're pretty advanced for someone who's never played in a tournament. More and more people like that. I mean, maybe somebody can explain to me why the players in India are so underrated. You know, I mean, is it there's not enough tournaments, or what goes on there? What's up, Juicebox Wizard? Anyway, good luck. You're the product of the new chess boom. Yeah, there's a huge chess boom worldwide. I mean, like I was talking about yesterday, 538, which is like a sort of statistics and website, has an article about the World Chess Championship on its page. I think that's an indication that chess is kind of mainstream. You know, you can bet on chess on chess betting sites. I mean, it's definitely, although that's not completely new. There's 1 billion chess players in India. All right. Hopefully they don't ban it like Bitcoin or something. What's up, everybody? We got challenges from Ripun, and we had a challenge from Sean, but I think it disappeared. So I'm trying to play unusual openings. All right, let's get started. Hours of boring puzzles. Not ridiculous, right? Ridiculous. Why would anyone watch such a thing? Where did he go? Yeah, you're back. You guys know by now what we do. We play Blitz with unusual openings. The regulars know this. Alright, I did play a warm-up game earlier, so I'm not completely out of practice. Alright, what are we going to do? Yeah, let's start with a little c5. Actually, why is Ripun playing d4? Obviously the London system. So he always plays e4. Suddenly, I think there was maybe one game where white played d4. Ripun literally has one game with d4. We'll go for the Dvoretsky closed check Benoni. Actually, I don't know what this is actually called. Mark played it against me in a Blitz game once. It's not really check Benoni. Now it's check Benoni. Now it's officially a check Benoni. But I don't really believe in the check Benoni astrobate. You know, technically, my last move was a mistake. I should play bishop e7. We'll do the Foigle thing. I think I played this against my friend Jose Gonzalez Garcia once. Didn't go well. c5 is not really considered technically correct for black in this King's Indian. It's like I just did c5 in a Petrosian King's Indian or some kind of mainline King's Indian. Why is Ripun playing d4? Oh, because it's weird openings Wednesday. All right, so he's getting into the act. I mean, I have to play weird openings. For you guys, it's optional. Now he plays my favorite move. One of my favorite moves against the check Benoni. Though this is technically a King's Indian now. What is that written in Japanese? I don't know. My ex-mod made it. I forget. I don't think it's Japanese. Is it Japanese? Yeah, maybe it is. I don't even know if it's Japanese characters or Chinese characters. I thought it was Chinese characters. Actually. But what do I know? So the thing is like G4. It means play bullet against will. I have a book of 100 Sam Lloyd puzzles. He was a famous composer. You know I can play E6 against D4 too. Just just so you know. I've done that actually a lot. I like playing E6 against D4 because people with D4 openings tend not to play E4. I used to play the English defense a lot. We're not really doing boring puzzles. It's just a meme title. Yeah, well, it's a long story. Like 3 years ago, when I was streaming from the United States, I have this blowfish, stuffed blowfish, that used to be a character on the stream, but he's in storage now. The pufferfish is in the storage unit, so he hasn't been seen on stream for something like 2 years. It's kind of like part of that theme. You see the pufferfish up in the right-hand corner? Master Fugu. It's an old story, so... For the newer people here, I've been streaming for 5 years, so... the Japanese character is kind of referenced. It's the panda thing, too. It could be Japanese or Chinese, whatever. Pandas are Chinese. Yeah, I guess it's a logical... It's just random. Really has no meaning for me. I should get a new overlay. Pony, totally arbitrary. I joke about being a brony. My name's Sparkle Horse. Has nothing to do with ponies, but some people think it does. Okay, OBKB. Now what do you do? King F1. That's a deep move. Pretty deep, dude. I do it all the time, in this type of setups. Not usually that early, but it was thoughtful. He's threatening bishop F3 and G3 there. So... Before I watch, Ripun turn into Dmitry Gurevich before my eyes, I'm gonna just like take that bishop. It's a bad bishop, but it's like I don't want my knight getting uncomfortable on F4. If I let him play G3, bishop F3 followed by G3, white might have a significant advantage. So that's the problem. This bishop, he has a bye. Asterbait likes to get a bye. When we used to play over the board in the United States, you would have like the pairings on the wall chart, and you would go and see like it says bye next to your name. Asterbait, you would enjoy that. Google Lens translated it to cat as the first word. What is Google Lens? Is that like part of your Google Glasses or something? Do you have Google Glasses? What should I do here? F5? No. It's an app that translates pictures. Cool. But what do you mean by, wow, like, it isolates, like, what do you mean by it translates pictures? Reverse image? I understand. But translating pictures? So it, like, seeks out words in pictures and then translates them? Wow, that's pretty cool. Very techy. Juicebox has been good to see here. Is a buy a point? It can be both. You can have a full point buy or a half point buy. Theoretically. Theoretically. Well, at least he can't castle queenside. Can rule that out. The guy seems enormously strong. Now here you have a player who doesn't play d4, really positionally playing this very well, I would say. The only thing that's questionable is his king position, but I mean, really not bad. I mean, he's probably okay in the closed position. Not that bad. Now that's really weird. Knight b1. Why did you play knight b1? Is that a stupid question to ask? Knight b1 is pretty advanced. Nah, now we gotta go. Igor says go. Sometimes I reference this player from Boston, originally from Ukraine, Igor Foigl, who I played in his sort of prime, and he was brutal. I never beat him in like probably 10 games or something. There's only like 2 people who have played like 2-digit number of games against me, and I've never beaten him and Zlatko Lichess. But Foigl used to play this like Czech Benoni / King's Indian, which is technically like wrong for black. I couldn't figure it out. It says pawn to house. There you go. Cat. Pawn to house. Close. It's close, right? F4. Oof. What am I doing? I'm so tempted to go like berserk here. Can't make up my mind. And suddenly Ripun is using his time. That's a good sign. I've been criticizing him for not using his time for like 30 years now. He's actually using his time in this game. House of Ponda. But he's missing his white square bishop. You see how relevant that is in this type of moment. Uber Driver would say that I'm the boss of the white squares. Right, Uber Driver? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you go to this early stage exchange, when I make this decision to play knight takes e2, I'm technically taking his bad bishop, you know? So it's... I wonder what the engine would do there. Would the engine grab the bishop? See, the problem is if I don't take it, what do I do? I let him play like bishop f3, g3. Yeah, you've got to take it. Look at that evaluation. Plus 0.8 because of the space. I literally have to take it. It gave you double question mark for king f1. That's pretty harsh. So you should have played bishop f3 first. Oh, crap. So I'm actually in big trouble. If you play bishop f3... Yeah, this is terrible. You're threatening g3 now. So my knight h5 looks like it's just bad. Well, the whole opening is bad. What would Igor do? Yeah, h3. h3 is a strong refutation. Man, I swear my friend David played bishop g5. I mean, their black might consider bishop e7. Yeah, but the whole thing is dubious. With c5. Alright, Sean, come back. So, subscriber challenges go first. Serge. Serge, welcome. Alright. There's a problem submitted by Uber Driver. I was just joking about boring puzzles, Uber Driver. You do understand that, right? Like, I think Uber Driver thought my stream title was literal. Is that what happened? Uber? Well, trading the dark square bishops would be good for me, you know, when I have all my pawns like this, of course. So this is my mistake, actually. When he plays c4, I should have played bishop e7. Like, this is the best line. This is literally my... I mean, the question is actually... I'm trying to remember. Against Dvoretsky, I had this game where, I guess it was this variation. That's different. I had my knight on c3. After c4, I think knight c3 is the best move for white, by the way. Not c4 in this position. Because you can go knight f3, knight d2, knight c4, and sit on c4. A knight perch. But he transposes to a normal check Benoni. I'm excited to see World Championship. I was thinking of making some kind of bet, but I went to this betting site and I didn't see anything that was interesting. Like, you can bet on every game being a draw. There's all these weird bets you can make. You can bet that... I thought it's interesting to bet that the match will be decided in rapid. I think there's a strong chance it'll be a repeat of Caruana, where the match goes to rapid. I'm also a big lover of conspiracy theories, so maybe it'll be fixed and they'll just go to rapid for the sake of you know, it's arranged. They'll go to rapid for the sake of the excitement for the fans or something. I think there's a strong chance it could go to rapid tie breaks, but I'm not sure I'm confident enough that I would bet on it. I also thought about betting on the first game, but the one prop bet that they didn't have that I thought would be interesting, like who scores the first victory. Like, it's very strange. This is like the most logical prop bet of all time. Why would they not offer like who wins the first game? You know, who scores the first decisive game? That was not a possible prop bet. I thought it would be interesting to bet on Nepomniachtchi winning the first game. Even though Magnus is like a 4-1 favorite, I wouldn't be surprised if Nepomniachtchi won the first game. I mean, look at how Magnus came back against Karyakin after he was down. It seems like Magnus maybe plays better after he's behind or something, and he really has some motivation. No, I mean, the odds are massively in Magnus's favor. They did statistical models of their ratings and their results against other players and stuff like that. You know, if you can't compare their results against each other because they haven't played that much lately, but you can compare their results against other players, for example. You know, how they did comparatively against other players. And it seems like Magnus is a major favorite. Obviously, that's not a surprise. But I should play bishop e7 here. I'm still, you know, it's something at least to watch. Like, real games with a real time control with some strong players, you know. And it's someone other than Anand. No, I enjoyed the matches to some degree with Karyakin and Caruana. Although I'm not a fan of either of these guys particularly. I don't really like Nepomniachtchi. But whatever. Magnus also has experience playing now, like, 4 World Championship matches versus none from the Nepomniachtchi. I mean, whatever. He's a massive favorite. Still, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the match is tied after the initial games. Alright, Serge. It's Weird Openings Wednesday, not Boring Puzzle Day. That's just a joke. I like the Birds opening. Man, Asterbate, you're like jumping on the bandwagon there. If there was a bet on who's going to be the next world champion after Magnus, the odds-on favorite is Ali Reza now. Although Mamedyarov, do you know how Ali Reza became 2800? Did you guys see that? Mamedyarov lost like a totally drawn rook endgame with some kind of absurdly stupid blunder. Mamedyarov lost like 2 pawns against 1 rook endgame. I mean, it's like Magnus does that or something, but that's crazy. He lost like a very simple rook endgame that was totally drawn. That's a weird way to get to 2800. Alright, knight c6 is an interesting move. Seems like Mamedyarov has really not been himself the last 2 years. He's not consistent at all. I guess he was never consistent, but very inconsistent. Unconsistent. Very grammatically correct. Mamedyarov had a great run for a while, but see, the problem is, in order to be a great chess player consistently, you have to like have the rest of your life in order, and there's all this other stuff that's involved in life that interferes with chess. Mamedyarov probably has a life outside of chess. That's the problem. He's been inconsistent. But it's not every day. I mean, a 2800 should not lose a totally drawn rook ending. Now, I don't know what the time control situation was, but I made another point recently, which I very much stand by. Faster time controls are ruining endgames. I mean, basically, Ali Reza's 2800 because they're making time controls faster and faster. He wins a... I assume that he won this drawn rook endgame against Mamedyarov because Mamedyarov probably didn't have enough time in some sort of, time control where it's getting too fast that there's no time for endgames. In order to make chess more exciting, they're basically... And it's like an endgame cancel culture, basically, is what we have. Everybody's talking about cancel culture. There's like a chess cancel culture, It's chess endgame cancel culture. We're just making the game faster and faster, but the endgames are the thing that's suffering. 2800s lose drawn endgames on a regular basis now. I mean, that's not chess for me. Nobody should be like winning totally drawn positions and advancing the rating because of that. You should actually have to really legitimately like win games, The old days. He remarried. July 27th. See, that'll get you every time. That'll get you every time, Masturbate. Paradoxically, the guy who's strong at endings and didn't need time to think would be the 800-pound gorilla. Well, I mean, yeah. The 800 gorilla. The Donald Trump of the chess world. Sorry, the last reference to an 800-pound gorilla I saw was Donald Trump. But, alright, c5, what am I going to do? Surge. Make endgames great again. I'm the mega endgame lover. Seriously, they're canceling endgames. I can't believe it. Endgames are not exciting. So we're just gonna cancel it. That's what chess is coming down to. So sad. FIDE already made the time controls faster in the last 20 years. The now standard time control of 40 moves in 90 minutes, like formerly was 2 hours. I think we're drifting toward a bad place, where chess becomes purely about time, or mostly about time, and not about the game as much. Okay. But anyways, that's enough ranting. Sarge is fast. Speaking of ranting about time, I'm basically playing the Simon Williams Dutch, but it's also a Grand Prix attack. Okay, I don't like my rook on this diagonal. Can you please tell the championship goes, like how many matches are held? What's the concept of going to rapid? Dude, it's 14 games. They're totally different, you know. Every World Championship match is individually organized. I mean, they've always changed the rules. Every World Championship, you know, they had different conditions. I mean, there is no like official rules, Repun. I mean, in the history of chess, all World Championship matches were like different. You know, the World Championship could agree to different conditions that he agreed to. I mean, it can be 20 games, 40 games, 30 games, 10 games, whatever. You know, that was like they had to win a certain amount of games. The agreement, I don't remember how many it was. They had to get to a certain amount of wins, and they never got there because there was too many draws. And then they had to win by like 2 games or something. I don't remember the exact conditions. So it can be like that, where you have to like reach a certain number of wins. I like this prop bet on Party Poker. There's one prop bet you can bet on how many games Magnus wins. Okay, the choices were 1, 2, 3, or 4 or more. Okay, and I was thinking, okay, the odds if you bet on Magnus wins 3 games in regulation were like, you get paid like a little more than 3 to 1. I was thinking that doesn't seem like, you know, that's a very specific bet. Like, are you right about those odds? I mean, if you pick Magnus wins exactly 3 games and you get it right, you only get 3 to 1. I mean, that seems kind of harsh. The odds of Magnus winning exactly 3 games, I don't think, you know, 3 to 1 would justify that. It would be longer odds than that to say he specifically wins 3 games. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, that's my... Do you bet on anything? I didn't bet on anything. I didn't like any of the bets they offered on this website. There's other sites you can go to for sports betting, obviously. I'm not a sports bettor, but if I knew, you know, something about a sport, I might bet on it. I'll occasionally bet on baseball or American football, but I would not bet on something that I don't know, you know. So I can't bet on soccer because I don't know enough about it. It has to be something I actually know something about. Where do you think the odds makers are for chess? That's a good question. That seems like a very good question. I thought the prop bets were a little weird. I was thinking the same thing. I wonder who makes these prop bets. They hire some random chess player to make them. Probably Greg Shahadi or something, you know. Who do you get to like make your prop bets for partypoker.com? Like seriously. It's a good question. I was thinking the same thing. It's not like the bookies in Vegas. I guess, you know, you can hire standard bookies. They could research it and try to, you know, whatever. I mean, you don't necessarily, I guess, have to be a chess player to make those prop bet odds or whatever, but it probably wouldn't hurt if you knew something about chess. I would think. Who's ever setting those odds, it would be better to have someone who actually knew something about chess. Maurice Ashley. He has a lot of Vegas ties. He organized a tournament in Vegas once. I don't know what his specific ties to Vegas are. He had one of those millionaire chess tournaments in Vegas. The Millionaire Chess Tournament. Man, Black is getting on my nerves here. You're really getting on my nerves, dude. He's playing super well. I tried to be Nimzovich, but I'm running out of space. Dude, I'm just going with the experts. If Magnus wasn't a clear favorite, the betting odds wouldn't be 3-1. Well, he's just a better player, dude. I also think ratings are kind of bullshit. The rating system is flawed, dude. Honestly, it's majorly flawed. The fact that Nepomniachtchi's close to Magnus, according to ratings, doesn't mean anything. I think the rating system itself is totally flawed. Like, Magnus is better than Nepomniachtchi by a lot, but the ratings don't really reflect it. How strong is this guy? He's like faster and stronger than me, and he's 2014. Okay. Maybe he'll make a blunder. Finally. Is that a blunder? I'm not even sure. That's his first blunder. Man, I played a 2000 player in the hourly arena like an hour ago. That guy would get destroyed by Serge. Let's put it that way. I played a 5-minute game. 5-0 against a player like 20 points higher than him exactly an hour ago. Oh my god. Wow, rook e6. I am terrified. What? What? What just happened? Dude, really? You're like 2600. Damn. How is he 2000? Dude, I hung a rook. He's like whipping me with combinations. This guy's ridiculously strong. Are you kidding me? He's no 2000. And then he lost on time? Dude. Okay, it's increment. The problem is I just played a 5-minute game and then I switched to 5-3. You know, before the stream I played 5-0 one game. That's really bad. Then I'm like playing like it's on increment and trying to play for time. It's not good to switch back and forth. I'm sort of like playing a different pace. Everything was okay, and then you played brilliantly in the time pressure. My time pressure. He has 1 minute and 40 seconds here. He played much better than me. Look at the descent upon loss. 76 for me, 59 for him. I had 5 blunders. 5 blunders? Damn. But time was just gone. My time was just gone. This is where I lost it. But what am I supposed to do? Like rook f2? Oh, I had f6. Didn't see it at all. Yeah, he's got me in time pressure. This was a terrible game. Both sides made a lot of mistakes. Alright, I tried to play the birds opening. I'm not in good form. Last night I played badly. The second Tuesday in a row. I'm playing very bad on Tuesday nights. And now... Okay, we play fun openings here, so it's going to be a little bit worse quality. On Wednesdays, when I play weird openings, we're going to play worse. I mean, the games are more for fun. I played the birds opening. I tried to play positionally, but I got in time pressure. Do you think... I don't know, Repun. You're asking the wrong person. I don't know about Magnus's prep or anything like that, or who's on his team. I don't know how those guys interact with each other. There's a lot of ego at stake, right? Top players hate to... They hate to ask the other top players, or... You know, they tend to kind of like be jealous of each other and stuff. It's really complicated. Maybe, you know, someone like Anish or something would help. I don't know what their relationship is like. I don't know, has Anish ever worked with Carlsen? He seems like he would be an ideal sort of, you know, second or something. They're level-headed and very knowledgeable about the openings. But again, there's this rivalry between these top players, so are they gonna just like help each other? Right. You know, is Geary gonna reveal his secrets when he's one of Magnus's biggest competitors? It's very complicated. Alright, so weird openings Wednesday. Let's play the Birds defense. I don't really know it, so this is fun. Just for fun. Birds defense is against principles, removing the same piece twice, just to trade it off. And we're also like losing our central pawn, you know, position on e5. I mean, dude, look at me as a streamer. Even streamers don't want to like support other streamers. There's a lot of jealousy, and I'm not even like, you know, this. I'm not even talking about like top grandmasters. I think there's a lot of ego involved in chess masters, and they don't want to help each other in general. So am I supposed to play c6 here? I've occasionally played Blitz with this, but I honestly don't know. I think c6... I played with white. c6 bishop a4 is what I play. Bishop c4 is a move. I also think that bishop c5 is a move for black. Bishop e2 is a bit on the passive side, so it shouldn't be really dangerous. I guess knight e5. Though you could play maybe d6 here. d6, d5, knight f6. All these moves are possible. I'm not crazy about d5 ruining my pawn structure. On the other hand, if I play d6, what am I going to do about my extended pawn on d4? Does money also play a big role? Yeah, I would think so. Dude, Magus is like loaded with cash. So I would assume that, you know, anybody that's going to help him is going to have to be very well compensated, you know. Right, of course, but Kasparov always had kind of tremendous support as well. I think it's like the reigning world champion has a built-in advantage, usually. But Magnus has a lot of like handlers and people who manage his affairs, I'm sure. You know, Juicebox Wizard. So he can just like concentrate on playing chess and let his handlers do whatever. Though he's got to be careful about that. You know? I mean, it's hard to be rich and famous. People try to take advantage of you. And you can't trust anyone, you know? He's lucky, though. He can trust his parents, I guess. But outside of that, I would be very wary. Outside of his family. If you take, like, Topalov as an example, you know, he had to, like, rely on, like, Danilov, this, like, dubious manager or whatever, you know? I mean, when Topalov was playing for the World Championship, he has this totally dubious character managing his career, you know? That's not where you want to be. You want to have like a solid situation. I decided to play d5 here, but it's not the most exciting move. You suppose the Russian Chess Federation is pouring loads of money on Nepo? You know, that's an interesting question. I wouldn't be able to answer you there. I think countries benefit from having like successful sporting representatives in many direct and indirect ways. Ripun. Chess is not the biggest, but in Russia it's a very, you know, big tradition. And, you know, when was the last Russian world chess champion? Want to make Russia great again. What am I going to do here? Yeah, Toilet Gate, right. Well, that's Danilov. But I'm just saying, in respect to Carlsen, he's got to be careful to avoid, you know, scammers and stuff. Kramnik, of course. Kramnik's so quiet, and now he's out of chess, he just totally, like, whoop, jumped out of my mind. Never been a controversial figure. Whereas, like, Nepomniachtchi is, like, publishing editorials in the Washington Post, you know. I mean, Kasparov's very arrogant, but he's also been very involved in politics in the last, like, 25 years or beyond. And he, like, regularly publishes, like, editorials in the Washington Post. I thought it was very arrogant of Nepomniachtchi to publish or try and successfully publish an editorial in the Washington Post. Like, he's suddenly politically relevant or something, you know, because he got lucky and won this candidates tournament. Sorry, dude, you're not Garry Kasparov. Like, you really don't have any street cred to be writing, like, I mean, whatever. It wasn't really, it was about chess, but still, you know. I got the feeling he seems like kind of an arrogant dude. All right. I didn't appreciate his editorial. They get paid a lot for it, no doubt. But Kasparov's been dabbling in politics for a long, long time, you know, so you kind of... You figure, okay, he's got a right to his New York Times and Washington Post editorials. But, you know, this relative noob Nepomniachtchi writing, like, op-eds is a bit much for me. And a lot of the stuff he was saying is totally hearsay. Dubov, that's interesting. Dubov is a great guy to have on your side. Yeah, he's a huge player. Very creative. He's already in his young career, like, contributed quite a bit theoretically. In my opinion, he's like way more creative than Magnus. Magnus just sort of like takes stuff that other people created and puts them into practice, you know. Dubov actually creates stuff. Ripon, because he is loaded with money, he's not Russian. I don't know. Magnus is the poster child for white privilege. I don't know, man. He's like a supermodel. Everybody loves him. Okay, White just lost a piece. Who doesn't love like a beautiful white person? Magnus is pretty. Of course everybody wants to help him. Okay, Nepomniachtchi is probably considered hot too. I mean, I'm not really attracted to men, but if I was, he's not ugly, right? So I'm just saying Magnus has this like sort of model like media presence, you know? He's kind of like a pretty boy. Everybody likes him. He's attractive. Nepomniachtchi's a newcomer. He's a total newcomer. Why would people help him, you know? Are you kidding me? Why would people help him rather than Magnus? It's not even a question. Maybe like some people like to root for the underdog. I generally do. But I don't particularly like Nepomniachtchi. There's many other people I would have preferred to see qualify. Chess, yeah, Magnus is a chess player and model, see? That's what I'm saying. Of course he is. But the media always does stuff like that, you know? There was this woman that was killed by her boyfriend in America a couple months ago, and she was just like on this like vacation with her boyfriend. Now they call her a blogger, you know. She wasn't really a blogger, but she kind of did a little bit of blogging. Now she's a blogger. It's like the media loves to give people labels. He's a model. Of course. Basically, he kind of is a model now, right? But that wouldn't make it his career, you know, because he's done a little bit of this kind of stuff. This is getting really annoying at this point. Mikhail Tao Disciple, you guys are all time guys trying to flag me. An 18-year-old girl who got murdered by her boyfriend, apparently. But she wasn't a blogger. Now she's a blogger. It's so weird the way they have to attach these labels to people. I don't know why. Because it sounds cool if you're a blogger. I'm a streamer, but I only have like 40 viewers every stream. You know, I wouldn't like go around like, you know, if I got murdered, I wouldn't. Oh, streamer, you know, it's just something I do in my part time. But you know, Viking beer. Weird openings Wednesday. 7+3. You violated the time control laws. Wait. Viking beer challenged me again. 5+3. Viking beer is still back. He's still back in like 2019. When we were playing, I would like to play 7+3 better, dude. But we have the rule in effect. I changed it to all 5+3. Viking beer re-challenged me to 5+3. Alright, I'll play B4. It's funny, I almost played B4 against you. Salieri? What? You're surprised that Gingy didn't get gunned down? Shirazi had to... They say that Shirazi left the United States because he owed gambling debts. I don't know if that's true. But Gingy had a lot too. Those guys in, you know, those New York chess hustlers. Roman liked to gamble on stuff like backgammon and poker. Why did you bring that up? What made you bring that up? Who said that? Uber driver? Why did you randomly bring that up? No, but I mean, B4 is kind of like... B4 is like kind of a real move, you know? Adorian trashes it in his book on unusual openings. But I don't think it's that bad. I always thought it was kind of not that bad. It's definitely better than the Grob. Fixing the weakness on B4. No, violent crime. Yeah. Generally speaking, I don't think people get gunned down for like minor debts, but Nepo is your friend. Okay, cool. I'm sure he's going to have more than 780 Insta followers after playing the World Championship, don't worry. But, yeah, man, I saw this horrible story, Uber driver, speaking of getting gunned down for money. In Mexico, there's some, like... In Mexico, there was news that some very far south, small town had a lottery, and this, like... Basically, this, like, poor school, like, won like almost $1 million lottery because they had a ticket like donated to them, and like the gang members from the local town like demanded that they hand over the money. How sick is that? They're like killing like people to demand that this school hands over their lottery money. Like, nice. Totally unrelated, but speaking of people getting gunned down, I thought that was really unbelievable. The parents of the children at this like poor school have to like fork over their school's lottery ticket. Whitey Bulger did the same thing in Boston. Well, who did he actually threaten? Like, I mean, damn. I can understand, like, threatening individual people, but like a poor little village school, you're gonna try to shake them down? That's taking it a bit too far. Damn. Magnus's preparation for the match was playing 100 bullet games. Yeah, sounds smart. Sounds like the guy is pretty well prepared already. Well, he's probably done his homework in advance. Now he's done preparing Ripun. That's his way of relaxing. Hopefully. They've probably already agreed to like draw 14 games and just play rapid and sink lots of money in bets on. Imagine if Magnus was corrupt, you know, and imagine if Magnus and Nepo were corrupt. They could bet on their own match like football fixing, you know. Just saying. Let's just like put all our money on all 14 games or a draw. Couple mil, you know, and rake in the dough. Of course that could be traced probably. A lot of huge bets on the match all being drawn would be kind of suspicious. It's my paranoid nature to think that everything is corrupt. C5 is just losing a big one. No, you've actually got knight a4 now. Right. So Viking Beer is sacrificing his center. So Whitey Bulger forced someone to give him his lottery ticket. So you never tell anyone if you won the lottery. First rule of winning the lottery. You never ever tell anybody you won. Baseball catcher who was shunned in baseball betting. Are you sure he was a catcher? Masturbate? You're not talking about Pete Rose, are you? Wait, was Pete Rose a catcher originally? Most of the time he played first base. He wasn't one of those catchers who converted to first base, was he? Repun's like, oh, you're thinking of Johnny Bench? Johnny Bench got in trouble for betting? I didn't realize that. No, Johnny Bench was the catcher on the Reds at the same time that Pete Rose was on the Big Red Machine with Joe Morgan. But I don't know what Asturbate's talking about. Asturbate, what's your... Were you talking about Pete Rose? Yeah, he was thinking of Pete Rose, but Pete Rose was never a catcher, was he? I mean, it could be. You know, a lot of catchers convert to first base when their knees go out on them. That would be a typical thing to do. I don't like this exchange your white square bishop a lot, but I do have a bad bishop myself. But basically, Viking Beer just miraculously had knight takes c5. I thought you were losing a pawn there. Now you're losing a pawn. Temporarily. Finally. He was built like a catcher, you know, so it's like a natural assumption. Like stocky and short. He would make a perfect catcher. He might have been able to play third base as he was younger, when he was younger. He wasn't slow. And he did, you know, he was like an average speed runner. But he stole a lot of bases opportunistically. I've never been to India yet. But I would consider going to India. There's some places I won't go. Mexico, Venezuela. India's not on the list of places I wouldn't go. Afghanistan. Actually, my friend Sebe Attila played a lot of tournaments in India. He really enjoyed that. Now he has a lot of contacts with Indian players who are coming to play in the tournaments here, due to, I guess, his going to India. Anyway, all right, Viking Beer hanging tough, down a pawn, but it's kind of hard for me to protect that pawn. I've never been to Asia, actually. Not just not been to India. I've never been on the Asian continent. Or Africa. I was in the Canary Islands. I don't know, that doesn't really technically count as Africa, but it's close. Please don't forget me when you become a celebrity streamer with 2,000 viewers. I won't forget you. It would be hard to do. You're one of my more memorable viewers, Repun. Guys, Asterbait just sent me a game but there's no stream tonight. Don't forget. Tomorrow night, our subscriber stream would normally be my next stream. I didn't make an announcement today, but there is no stream tomorrow night due to Thanksgiving. Even though I live in Hungary, I still celebrate Thanksgiving so I don't get too eternally homesick. It helps me deal with the fact that I may never go back to my home country. Now you're thinking of a different Attila, Padron Antoni. Attila Turzo, not to be confused with Attila Sebe. Of course, Attila the Hun. Attila is one of the most traditional Hungarian names of all time. But Turzo's kind of a weird guy, dude. He's odd, an odd bird. He's done a lot of chess stuff on the Evil Chess site. I think, he does a lot of coaching. But he sort of does stuff, then disappears. He's always had that MO where he starts something and seems to, like, disappear and come back. I don't know what his deal is. He seems like a nice guy, but he's just kind of, like, flighty. I don't really know. Turzo is just an odd bird. But seems like a nice enough fellow. Very correct and sportsmanlike. Friendly. We had a couple of battles. I always seem to underestimate him too many times. I think I lost against him twice. But he's not a bad player. Though he let his rating really drop down at one point. He was much, much, much lower rated than me. He was down in like the 2200s. Didn't you play him in a game where he arrived extremely late? No. That's the other Attila. I'm talking about Sebe, who's a grandmaster. The guy I was talking about that went to India. Sebe came very late. No, Sebe is an awesome blitz player. He's a good rapid player, and he came like 13 minutes late to a 15-minute game, and I lost anyway. That was embarrassing. You're getting your Attilas confused. But there's lots of Attilas. Hungarian Spy, even. Oh, Hungarian Spy. New account, right? Who the heck is Hungarian Spy? Let's check the openings. When was this account created? No, it's not a new account. It's a member since 2019. E4. 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 Open row of paths. Interesting. E4, E5. So this is not a new account, but it doesn't have many gains. Who the heck is Hungarian Spy? Loki or Loki? Loki. What are you doing sitting on your laptop watching this guy? And my mother said if I want to watch and play chess, I have to solve 100 math sum. Well, that's fair. Yeah, what are you doing here? You should be doing your math. I agree with your dad. No, once you finish your homework, you're allowed to watch my stream. I thought you were going to say, what are you doing watching this guy when you could be watching Magnus Carlsen play bullet chess? What are you doing watching this guy when you watch some WNM do puzzles? What is a WNM? Why is there just one person in the world with that title? That's so strange. Alright. Loki. I'm just going to create my own title today. Let's see, what can we come up with? Can you guys help me create a new chess title and award it to myself? I gotta come up with some original idea. Poker Chess Master, I don't know. Poker Playing Chess Master. National Poker Chess Master. Uber driver, say Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Master. We gotta think of something. Poker Playing Chess Master. PCM. Your parents play old style chess. They call the rooks elephants. That's probably not a bad thing to play. Repun. Relocated Chess Master. We could just do relocated. Expat Chess Master. EXCM. EXPCM. Sounds cool. Low-key best to play this darned gambit. What is this? So it's basically a black Mardemer with another pawn off the board. How much does that matter? The WNM, yeah. I thought it sounded weird, but only questioned it momentarily, and then accepted the pseudo title as legit. There's some people claim that in Canada they have this like WNM title, but I don't count. Like, I'm sorry, I don't count that. You just don't arbitrarily have a title that exists in like one country. That doesn't count. I'm sorry. It would have to be like accepted worldwide. You know. Like, seriously, if you're not like a National Master or a WFM, there's even like WCM, right? I mean, especially if you're a woman, it's not that difficult to get an international title. If you can't even get like WCM, you're basically like a 1400, you know? I mean, I'm exaggerating slightly, but still. Let's just say not an expert. Yeah. There was this guy at the Boylston Chess Club, a Syrian FIDE master, and he like lied and he was claiming he was an IM. He put up these flyers claiming he was an international master. I can't stand when people like they blatantly lie and stuff or make up. I mean, that disrespects everything. World Chess Master. Let's just make up a new title. I'll make up my own title. Lord of the universe of chess. We could do it like a Star Trek episode. I am Lord of the universe. Women Lord of the universe. Lord Zard. There was an episode on Star Trek, the original series. Yeah. Women, chess, NM. Well, I mean, just to be a women CM is pretty easy. And I'm not going to get into a debate about whether I think women's titles should exist or not. You know, that's... I don't really know. You know, I'm not a woman, so I don't know if it's my place to decide that. I think there's people on both sides of that issue, and I understand the argument on both sides, and they have legitimate points. On a serious subject, I think the whole concept of women having titles is a point for debate that has advantages on both sides. I know a lot of women who are against it. You know, it's definitely promoting inequality in a way. I mean, like, the Polgar sisters refused to play in, like, women's tournaments for this reason. It's a mental game. There's no reason we should have to separate men's and women's titles. But on the other hand, it is an incentive to help women, to encourage women to get involved in the game, you know, and I don't know if I'm against something that incentivizes women getting involved in chess. So I think it's a really tough it's a really tough thing to debate. I just don't know which side to agree with on that. Well, of course, novel ways for FIDE to make more money. Absolutely, 100%. We know that. They'll do anything to make money. The CM title is the biggest example of that. They made FM easier to get. They created the CM title. They created these idiotic things like arena titles. They basically create any kind of title they could think of to pour more money in the FIDE coffers. I mean, when I went to school, you know, we walked uphill both ways to FIDE titles. But there's no other game in town is the problem. Knight e8 and knight d6, you mean? The betting odds of that? Not very likely. I'll tell you right now. I like my knight on f6. He's my friend. He's our best friend. It's like the toilet bowl in Bill Cosby's original drunk skit. Toilet bowl, I love you. This knight on f6 is my reason for living, basically. Love you, toilet bowl. You're the only one who loves me. If you never watched, like, Bill Cosby stand-up, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about, but that's not PC either. The knight f6 is just like, you know, clinging to that for defensive purposes. I'm not politically correct bringing up Bill Cosby. Sorry. But I can't erase the past. I can't cleanse my mind of Bill Cosby stand-up. Can't erase it from my memory banks. Expert titles. To become the coaching titles are another thing. They have these coaching seminars. FIDE, you know, I mean, that's another sham. I wouldn't even I wouldn't even attempt to become a FIDE trainer. It's like, just in principle, you're promoting, just by being part of that, you're actually promoting the corruption of FIDE. They have these like sham sort of conferences where they appoint FIDE trainer titles and stuff like that. I mean, not to say like everyone involved with that is corrupt or it's totally worthless, but a lot of it is sort of, you know, ridiculous. I mean, weak players who are appointed as FIDE trainers who aren't qualified. I mean, it's not based on like merit. You just attend this thing and then you're automatically a FIDE trainer or whatever. It's like kind of absurd. I'm not a FIDE trainer. I have no interest in being a FIDE trainer. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to be a FIDE title player. So what do I do here? Sack my queen, maybe? To avoid counterplay? Bishop d4 check? No. Man, this bishop h6 is annoying. I guess I just have to give him a pawn back. I mean, this is the sensible thing to do. I'm up 2 pawns. We'll give one give one back to break the initiative. Juicebox Wizard, I like it within USCF. All sporting organizations are corrupt. You know, it's just a question of how corrupt each individual organization is, right? It's not like, you know, the World Chess Federation is the only corrupt sporting organization. They just have varying levels of corruption. Damn, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I should have played a6. That probably doesn't matter. But I should be winning here. Pawn up with the rook on the 7th, and white has isolated pawns. Sanctioned coaches. Yeah, it's all a scam, man. But almost everything is a scam, you know. My new theory is that 9 out of 10 things are scams. I love this, like, I had this loan from a major bank at one point, like 2 years ago. It's like, I paid it off, and I was a good customer or whatever. But it's kind of comic how every 3 days they send me like another email that says, "Oh, we have an exciting new offer for you." I'm like, are you kidding me? You sent me new offers like 40 times in the last like 70 days. Is anything not a scam? Like, seriously. J. Gomez Garcia, welcome. An exciting new offer. Scam world. The best thing about not living in America, I don't know if you feel the same, Juicebox Wizard, is that I don't have to use my American mobile phone anymore, so I don't have to get like robocalls. Like, robocalls haven't really caught on here in Europe as much. Dude, I was gonna lose my mind like when I was living in the US. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like, whoa, you can't live like that. I wanted to throw my phone away. And then we had a landline, and there was constantly scam callers on there too. We do get them though. You do get them. Yeah, in Europe I've been good. Of course, obviously it depends on, like, you know, what you subscribe to or whatever, but I'm playing the Benoni. I don't normally play the Benoni. I'm just sort of talking about everything today, randomly. You live in an international scam center, basically. Once I got into like an argument with this scammer from like an Indian call center in the United States. It was the dumbest thing I ever did. Like, I actually got into a heated argument because the guy was like, what am I trying to accomplish with this? You know, seriously. They're just like laughing on the other end. I can't believe I let myself get upset about that. But in the US, they do nothing to like stop it. Like the FCC does nothing. It's unbelievable. The robocalls were just killing me. I literally have no robocalls on my Hungarian number. I mean, Europe must just do a much better job of controlling this stuff. Well, you have the second largest online casino economy? Interesting. Now what do we do? F5? F5 anyway? Inviting him back to G5 and then like Queen E8? Does that look right, Master? And Tony should be involved in this discussion. Man, I should get rid of my American phone. It's just sitting around. Why am I paying for that? I had this fantasy that I would move back to the United States or buy property there, but then the real estate market exploded. I would literally have to like win the lottery to buy a home in the United States. Yep, I was ready to play for F5, but now it's looking worse and worse. You've got this. E4. I should just get rid of my American phone. You know, the problem is like you need a phone to have stuff like access to your Amazon account, or it's really awkward. Should I go with F5? Then he plays E4. And then if I play F4, he plays E5. My knight is stuck on H5 now. I guess I could play G5. That's a really bizarre move. That doesn't seem right. So I'm basically not happy. I don't know what to do here. I'm going to do something revolutionary. Top-notch online casinos. Which is by definition I love that. Top-notch online casinos. I know this guy who's an architect. He's like extremely wealthy, well-paid Hungarian architect who loses like tens of thousands of dollars playing online like casino games. I mean, that's insane. That is seriously insane. See, the point was now I got rid of my white-squared bishop, but I have good control of e5. So if he tries to go e4, I can play f4 without e5 like destroying me. If anybody's wondering what I just did here, it's probably not that great, but that was the thinking. Well, I wouldn't bet in an online casino, like, under any circumstances. You couldn't have a more perfect environment to scam people. An unregulated online casino. I can't believe that an intelligent person would seriously gamble in something like that. Brick and mortar casinos are bad enough. Online poker is like bad enough, but at least there you're supposedly playing against other humans. But who knows if something's regulated or not, you know? Do you know if it's regulated or not? Like, you personally know how regulated it is? Like, I wouldn't trust ones that were supposed to be, like, even if they were regulated in the United States. Okay, so here he's coming with the bishop takes h5. All right. We've got counterplay. Bishop h5, pawn takes pawn. We sack a pawn. Our knight is pretty bad, but he's ready to join the party later on. I think it's a question here now. Do we take right away? We take here. He has bishop f3. That's not a problem. The question is, ultimately, do I have enough compensation for my sacrificed pawn? When I played a lot of online poker around a decade ago, popular theory was that the deck was kind of juiced in a sense. Yeah, I think that they favor the players that generate more rake. To make a long story short, after playing online poker successfully for a long time, I would think like something wasn't right too, even though I have very good overall results. And it wasn't necessarily always the same, but by definition, I think, you know, if people can cheat, they're gonna cheat. And if they can get away with it, they're gonna cheat, you know, so the argument was always that, oh, online poker sites would never cheat because they're already making a lot of money, you know. I don't think that argument holds a lot of water. That's like saying, oh, a millionaire would never steal more money because he's already rich, you know. It's like, okay, well, that makes sense. Because no criminals who are like billionaires want to steal more money. No, I think that online poker, for example, was rigged to favor, you know, the players who generate more money for the site. The less I played for, the less I won. You know, the more I played, the higher stakes I played for, the more I won. Now, I don't know if that was just a coincidence, but I would say my results actually personally vindicate that theory. But it could just be a coincidence. But online casinos for me were like, that would never be a consideration. You gotta be crazy. I don't know if I have enough comp for this pawn. Like playing blackjack, internet blackjack or roulette. Are you sitting? Are you kidding me? Are you sitting me? Are you sitting on me? The perks, exactly. No free drinks? What fun is an online casino? Like, the only purpose of an online casino would be like if you don't have access to a real one. Negriana, what? Well, I mean, you know, it's pretty true. Playing against worse players isn't necessarily easy because you have like absolutely no clue what they're gonna do. That's Negriano's point, I guess. I'm about to lose. Problem is my knight gets trapped or not. Depends on the situation. I have some interesting possibilities here. Knight b5, knight b4. I thought I was lost, but it's not so clear. I'm threatening knight takes d5. J. Gomez Garcia is 1700. He's 2100 rapid. Yeah, that's a little much, but there is about a 250 point range usually between Blitz and rapid. His difference is a little too much. He plays really well. Why he's so low in Blitz? Maybe just panics. Yeah, I mean, your argument is logical. It could be that I could just read the stronger players better, and I would do better against them. But, you know, because they were more inherently logical. Or it could just be random chance. Why did I not take that pawn? I'm like an idiot, really. This is why he's 1600 in Blitz. He sort of melts down at the end when he gets in time pressure. I play all the time in like weak cash games with crazy players, or sit and goes with really crazy. Sometimes I play in a rebuy sit and go with these maniacs, and you know, you just can't do anything. I mean, you just have to sit there and hopefully, you know, you get some good cards, and you can't predict what these people are going to do. They're never going to fold. You can't bluff them. I mean, yeah, I mean, there is no real such thing as sit and goes, but they do it to increase the sit and goes with rebuys we play, and it's insane. It's like, this doesn't exist in reality. All right, 12:30. We still have time. Let's get some challenges. 5+3. Exactly. You would have taken. Yeah, I made a very bad move toward the end. I guess around here I should have taken your G pawn. No, I couldn't. What was I thinking? What was I thinking here? No, I guess I didn't. I have to do something. Before we go on and get another challenge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 5. I've sacked a pawn earlier. This was the one move that's a problem. You know, but in retrospect, I could have played knight c7, right? No, it was your turn. I had to make a move here. Well, yeah, I have to make a move. Am I lost here? Plus 1.6. So the game was back and forth, typical Benoni. I had bishop takes c3. I just religiously never want to do that, but it would have been a good move here. Instinctively, I'm constantly criticizing people, and I'm attached to my bishop, but I should have just taken on c3. So rook e5. White's better now. And now rook f1 was a blunder. So he should take here. That's more important. Pawn. No. I'm alright. No, he's got knight c2. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm threatening the exchange. So it was a double threat by me. He has to find a very good move now. That was tough. Rook d1. That's pretty hard to find. It guards d5 though. Arguably your most important pawn. And my knight is not trapped, but if I lose this d6 pawn, I'm a goner. Probably. I mean, if white has both the d5 and the e4 pawn, going forward, and I lose the d6. That's a brutal combo of connected passers down the middle. I mean, this is extremely strong. You know, those two pawns. If I like take on g5 and you take this, look at that. I mean, I'm toast here. You know, it's going to be impossible to stop those pawns. Yeah, I had a double threat, but this is the thing. I probably have to defend passively now. After rook d1, I have to play rook d8. You kick my knight back to a bad square, and I don't know. I thought I was holding on here maybe, but the computer says no. You have like rook f3, rook f6 or something. If you win my d6 pawn, I'm probably lost. So a7 doesn't bother me. I'm worried about this one. You know, here, takes on g5, rook f6, rook g6. Hanging on by a thread, my knight, you have a face hugger on b5, and my knight on a6 is just trapped. This is disaster. So even this, like the computer says, second best move. Terrible position. I'm just totally like stymied. You can literally take the pawn even. I don't know if you would want to do that though. Anyway, interesting game. Benoni wasn't good for me. This was a bad opening. I don't really know the black side of the Fianchetto Benoni, and it showed there. I don't play the black side of Fianchetto Benoni. Don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I knew some lines. I played against Antoni a couple of training games. I wasn't thinking straight early on. Antoni was here earlier. I've actually played him a couple times, but I really have very little experience on the black side of Fianchetto Benoni's. Let's play like something different. We played a b4, the pre-A attack. Play d5, d5, d4. I don't want to play b4 again. Now a3 is useless if I don't play b4. g6 is a good move against a3. It makes a3 look stupid. I'll just try some sort of King's Indian. a3 may or may not be a useful move, but it won't compromise my position. I mean, a3 is usually somewhat useful. Certain positions. Fianchetto. So he plays King's Indian too, but he's not going to play a6. Now I can transpose to an English, but again a3 would be a wasted move. Very useless. Unless black happens to play a5, then a3 is silly. Guess you could play b4 here, but then e4 hits. We have that problem. Basically, it's just a weird King's Indian versus King's Indian. Black should be fine. Guys, this is my last stream until Friday. We usually do a stream on Thursdays, but I'm celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow night, so we're not going to stream. All games submitted for Thursday night stream will be forwarded to the next week. I know I'm supposed to be doing puzzles, like boring puzzles right now. Do they have turkey? Yeah, we have turkey. I bought some turkey yesterday. But it's not the most popular. Chicken and pig are more popular. The problem is cranberry sauce. I forgot to do an internet search. Let me see. I gotta look up where to buy cranberry sauce in Budapest. We can only get Brest here, and that's recent. Yeah, I went to the market yesterday, and you'd have to order like a turkey to get a whole one. Normally they chop it up, so I got a big leg and some turkey breast. But Cranberry sauce is a huge issue. I know this gourmet store where they used to have cranberry sauce, but it's too far from my house. I don't have time to go all the way over there. I was hoping I can look up cranberry sauce in Budapest and there'll be some sort of miracle, you know, like some other store has it. We have cranberries, but there's no such thing as cranberry sauce, basically. Yeah, they had ocean spray in this store, a high-end gourmet store. Chess Zebra's on the task. I think I know one place where they might have it. But again, it's a long walk from my house. I don't really have time before tomorrow to go over there. But if you find something, Chess Zebra, let me know. You just can't have turkey and stuffing without mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce. But sometimes we do like duck or goose instead. But I like to celebrate Thanksgiving, so my kids have a sort of sense of their heritage a little bit. I don't want to lose since I'm not living in the United States anymore. I don't want to completely lose touch with my cultural heritage, so to speak. Thanksgiving is one of the kind of, let's say, unique holidays for Americans. I love lamb too, but nobody else in my family likes lamb. So duck, duck, goose. You can do the search on duck, duck, goose for cranberry sauce. Man, I like the way Black's playing this. He plays with pawns. You gotta respect a player who likes his rook pawns. Honestly, most players don't appreciate how to play with pawns. I guess I was always like eating lamb from a young age because occasionally we would cook it at home when I was a kid. But if you're not used to it, it's kind of gamey. So I can understand that. But it can be very, very good. It can also be not good. Culinarish. Yep. That's the one place where, yep. Good job. Very good research by Chess Zebra. The Culinarish is the only place I know that might have cranberry sauce in Budapest. My dad was in the army during World War II. And one of the things he was stationed in the UK. And one of the things he said, like, they had to eat mutton. He wasn't thrilled about it. Even though he likes lamb, he wasn't thrilled with mutton. He sort of made it sound like a torture or something. Amazon.com ocean spray cranberry sauce. What do you mean Amazon.com ocean spray cranberry sauce? I don't think they can ship overnight, can they? Can I get it overnighted by FedExpress? No, I have to go to Culinarish, right? Man, this guy is good. Who is this guy? Maybe I can bribe my daughter to, like, go to the Culinarish and buy it for me. No, I've ordered stuff from Amazon. We get Amazon things. It's cool. If I had thought about it in time, I could have literally like ordered cranberry sauce. Sure. I just waited too long to think about it. I'll bribe my 12-year-old daughter to go like across the city to buy cranberry sauce for me. Because I have to work constantly until Thanksgiving dinner. Not because I'm lazy. So what are we gonna do? No, she has school. Can't ask her to do that. Looks like we're gonna go without cranberry sauce this year. Wonder if maybe I could order it online. The chances are kind of low though. But maybe Culinarish delivers. That's a good question. Possible they have like online delivery. Though, I don't know if they can do it on such short notice. The desperation for cranberry sauce. If I had just thought of it like one day earlier. Juicebox Wizard, have you ever had a Thanksgiving feast in Southeast Asia? Oh, every year but this one. Yeah, I try to keep the tradition alive. It helps me like fight off homesickness. I mean, obviously we have Christmas here. We don't really have much Halloween. You live on a small island. Damn. It's got F4. Wonder if he should play Queen F6 there instead of exchanging. Uh-oh. I was banking on this. Pawn on C7 is weak. Sand and everything. I hate that. It sucks living in island paradise. God. B5 was a mistake, I think. Though I understand his thinking. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. You're just temporarily in an island paradise. Oof. How's our endgame doing? You know this is a mistake, right? For me. probably a draw. But you never know. Mamajarov could lose this against Fallujah with his eyes closed. Immigration? Come to my house? No. Why do you ask that? Well, I think they have just like the regular police. I'm not sure we really have any special forces or something. Yeah, because you're a migrant. I'm a legal resident. There's a restaurant called DNV Budapest that delivers turkey and cranberry sauce. Nice. There's also a cranberry pub crawl. Thanksgiving pub crawl. I've had on my mobile phone advertised. Damn, this guy is a pro. Going for it. Cranberry soup. That sounds interesting. Cranberry soup. We have cherry soup. Fruit soups in Hungary. Now we got him. Careful of stalemate. Yeah, how do you defend against King F7? It's called stalemate. Rook F6 check? No. Rook B7 check. Ouch. How many of you would like blunder that stalemate? Raise your hand. King F7, Rook B7 check. King F8, Rook takes B7 now. Yeah, this is a classic. Man, I did a pre-move. He could have played Rook B8. I would have dropped my Rook. That's dangerous. Don't pre-move in that position. Do not pre-move here. Shashank Pali. Alright. Yeah, it seems like a long stream today. Turkey jokes. Tazake. I used to call Grandmaster. I'm guilty of that too. Suat Adalik. I used to call him Turkey. It's really, it's like people saying you're hungry in Hungary. Calling Adalik a turkey. Because he used to play for Turkey. It's pretty cheesy. Yeah. Just as a joke. So what's up, Turkey? We played many times in the same tournaments in America. We have a lot of mutual friends. I'm friends with him on Facebook. We actually never played each other. Well, he's a really nice guy. He's pretty strong. I mean, he's well known for his theoretical knowledge. But as I said, I've never actually played against SWAT. We just had a lot of mutual friends and stuff. But this was years ago. Before he was the legend he is today. He was just an ordinary, everyday grandmaster. But why? He's like the first Turkish player to be a grandmaster? Well, he's not really retired. He's playing a lot in Serbia. I wouldn't call him retired. He's constantly playing tournaments in Serbia, I saw. I think he might have come here and played one quite a while ago. I mean, this is technically... okay. Queen f3. How did I pick up my rook? Well, I don't mind bishop h3. It is his bad bishop, though. I mean, it's not a bad exchange for black. Whoa, he went back and changed his mind now. That's weird. It seems weird to play bishop h3 and then go back. But I guess he's playing for some concrete threat of some sort. Did you have a strong connection to Hungary? Well, it's a legendary place for these tournaments since the early 90s. And I came here first time in 96, 97, 98. So, you know, I kind of like developed a familiarity with Hungary, I would say. It's an adopted thing. I adopted this as my European chess base. Tim Taylor was here right before I came, and he actually had... I actually went to this internet like cafe where Tim's files were still on the computer I was using. That's great for like privacy and stuff. I remember like logging into this internet cafe computer where Tim Taylor's like emails or some kind of files were on there. Okay, it was like the closest internet chess cafe to the Chess Federation. So it's no coincidence, but it's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know him. He had left by the time, right before I came in 2004. But he's older. You know, he was already, actually, he was kind of an inactive player even back then. I mean, he's much older than me. He was kind of seemed like a bit of an odd bird as well. I never talked to him. I remember consequently seeing him in Vegas when I went back for a tournament. But I don't just like go, hey, what's up, man? Hey, I heard you know, you go to Budapest. You went to Budapest too. I can't remember if I have any if there were any stories about him or anything like that. I think I heard some weird stories, but I don't remember what it was about. What happens in Budapest stays in Budapest. Right, guys? A tiny bit peculiar, exactly. But we're all a little bit peculiar. I'm definitely a little bit peculiar. A lot. The Queen. The Queen is the best. Yeah, he seems nice enough. Right. For a title player, he doesn't seem to come off as arrogant, which is nice. There's always those title players who are, they don't speak to the lower levels. They're on another echelon. I'm sorry, but being a chess player doesn't make you like a better human being. Being a good chess player. But I will defend like the strong players in one respect. Like sometimes there were tournaments I remember where, for example, there'll be these like kind of wannabes who would, they'd like pester people. Like they'd pester grandmasters like they were celebrities, and then constantly come up and like ask questions. That can get annoying. You know, you're basically like a celebrity when you're a grandmaster or whatever. So there is that element that sometimes the players develop this sort of standoffish when you're like a chess celebrity. A standoffish sort of defense mechanism against people. Can I tell you about my game with, and this guy, you know, and he had a bishop on e6, grandmaster, so and so. Can I show you, you know, that kind of thing. So I could see that that would be annoying. I'm having deja vu with this game. That's really weird. I feel like I had the exact same game once. Rook h3, I'm like seeing in my dreams where I failed to play that move, critical juncture. Humility is the best character trait to have. I agree. You know, and we all get arrogant sometimes. I mean, it's impossible to be like perfect, you know. We're all gonna like fall off the wagon. I'm arrogant at times. I don't mean to be. But, you know. It's like anything else. Sometimes we're in a bad mood. Bam, black fell off this wagon. So I have rook takes g6 check. It's made straight up. Well, it's not made. He loses a rook with check. But rook h3 was a good move. Look, I was thinking about it today. You know, not to promote like religion or Christianity, but most people today, you know, they're not religious. A lot more people don't have any religion, for example. But I grew up, I like literally, I was like living in a small town and I went to Sunday school. I was thinking about how weird that is in today's culture. To go to like church Sunday school. How many people today go to like church Sunday school? I'm not a religious person really, but it just went through my mind today. You know, how really weird and rare that is, sort of. And I'm like a very liberal. I'm not a religious person. If anything, I'm an extremely liberal Christian. But I mean, humility is something that should be taught in Christianity. But then you have people like taking the evangelical. Donald Trump is pronouncing himself like a god of the evangelical Christians. Humility is supposed to be like a Christian trait, you know. Donald Trump is the least Christian human being I like ever saw in my life. It's crazy, you know. Alright, no, we're not doing a rematch. But I hate when people are arrogant. But I've seen people been mislabeled. You know, I have one friend who's a GM, and I kind of thought he was arrogant at first. But again, I think it was just a defense mechanism. People are badgering you constantly when you go to like a public chess tournament. Even with me, and I wasn't that strong a player, I would have people who would like constantly ask me questions. Like, dude, just leave me alone. You know, I'm trying to focus on my... I wouldn't say that, but I was thinking like, come on, man, just leave me alone. I'm trying to concentrate on my game. Or, you know, random strangers would come up to me because I was a master and ask me questions, like distracting me and stuff. It doesn't mean that they're arrogant. Alright. And magical. So how much time do we have left? Okay, last game. Whoa. Last game. Yeah, I never thought about it today. I'm a liberal Christian. Although I don't have like an astute sort of religious view or I live in an illiberal Catholic country. I'm like a liberal Presbyterian. I went to Sunday school in a Presbyterian church, which is like the most liberal Protestant denomination in the United States. Now I'm living in a Catholic country where the Prime Minister is running it in a liberal government. That be still being conservative. No, yeah, I'm relatively conservative. I would say I'm a conservative liberal. I hate that too. Like, people have to define themselves by being liberal or conservative. That's total bullshit. We don't have to like put ourselves in camps, you know. Defining everything by you're a lib or a conservative. It's absurd. Did anybody follow speaking of politics, like Governor of New Hampshire, like trashing the Republican establishment? Sununu went off like on congressional Republicans. Finally, like somebody with like a sensible voice of reason, you know, that's not afraid to speak up. Sununu started attacking like congressional Republicans for being idiots and focusing on the wrong things. It was nice to hear that, you know. Not everyone is completely like insane. I don't think that works. Don't cry wolf. E6. Yeah, I mean, you know, this Spielman, Rudolph Spielman style thing. I'll tell you what. I doubt C3 gels with that. You know, if you think about it fundamentally, like C3 is an exceptionally slow move. So if you want to do a Rudolph Spielman style sacrifice to mix those two, doesn't fly, you know. You're mixing ponies with horses, I think, there. Any tips to remember opening lines? Don't ask me, because I forget everything. I don't know. I have actually a pretty bad memory for an international master. I have like people that I play here constantly being like, oh yeah, we already played this variation twice. I think I have a very average memory. Thanks, MJ. MJ said, nice streaming games, thanks, sir. Best wishes from Iran. Oh no, white blundered with bishop takes f2 check. And magical. Guys, I gotta go, and there's no Thursday stream. Normally I do a Thursday stream where we're doing game analysis for subscribers. Next week on December 2nd, we're going to do the Thursday stream and analyze those games that have already been submitted and some more. Thanks, Hell on Toast. I don't know. I've been a little foggy-headed the last couple of days, but I try to make it instructive. I haven't been playing the best chess. Yesterday I started trying to play the French defense, realizing that this might be an interesting experiment. I never played the French really, but it's kind of boring, to be honest. One guy played the exchange French. That's terrible. This just felt like a French defense. We transpose. How did we do this? Knight f3, knight c6, c3. Yeah. How did this happen? Oh, okay. It was I played d5 a little early. So basically is a tempo down French for white. Yeah, that's a big problem with playing the French, man. There's like no way around that stupid exchange variation. I saw this one game years ago, which was inspiring. Rajabov, when faced with the exchange variation, just like didn't try anything crazy. You know, I expected, you know, when you play against the exchange French, if you're black, most people, including myself, assume black should go for some kind of crazy opposite side castling, Alexander Alyakin style thing. But when I saw this one game, Rajabov literally like had to play this guy who was like playing for a draw with white in an exchange French, like standard like 2300 player trying to draw with white, and Rajabov just did absolutely he just did absolutely like standard moves and slowly like beat the guy at his own game. It was interesting. He risked, you know, he kind of like risked running the risk of drawing with this guy who was like openly playing for a draw. But he just played his own game and beat him. I thought it was impressive, you know. Probably like it was an open tournament where Rajabov was like board 1, playing against like you know, he's like 2650 playing against a 2300, where he's black in exchange French, and he doesn't do anything crazy. He just patiently, you know, beat the guy in an ending with a slightly better position. Someone used the French defense to force a draw against Kawhi's top player. Use the French exchange. Yeah. You could always play queen takes d5, I guess, if you're desperate. But, nah. This one downside of playing the French. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. It's time to go. Alright, phone. That's enough. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to all of you for joining me, and we'll be back on Friday. Same thing, same time. Friday morning at 11 a.m. CEST. Thank you, guys. Later. Bye-bye.